Steve Jewin, MMA Mania.
All right, Steve, you're now on with John Salter. Go ahead.
John Salter, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm not bad. I'm glad to get a chance to talk to you again because we haven't spoken since the Brandon Halsey fight, and that was an impressive win, and you're quite on a roll right now with 6 straight wins. So how are you feeling going into this next fight?
I'm pretty good. I think it's going to be one step in the right direction. I think, like you said, I feel like I'm on a roll right now. I'm just going to keep it going.
I was under the impression originally that you were supposed to be facing Anatoly Tokov. Were you under that impression as well?
Yeah, originally I was supposed to fight him, and he got injured, so he was out.
We'll hopefully see him back in action sometime soon when he recovers, but what do you know about his replacement, Jason Radcliffe?
Looks like he's a, pretty solid Muay Thai guy, pretty fast, athletic, I think, decent everywhere. I think one thing I've seen is he seems to have problems if he gets hit on the chin. He's been knocked out a few times, so he's definitely got, that's definitely an option.
Yeah, I did notice on his Sherdog record, his last 2 fights were TKO losses, so I know that you could definitely clip that chin, but you've also been impressing us with your submission skills in Bellator, so another spectacular rear naked choke wouldn't be out of the question either, right?
Yeah, definitely not counting that out.
I don't know if I asked you this last time, but I'll ask you this now. Which one do you actually like more? Do you like clipping people on the chin, or do you like finishing people on the ground with a submission?
Oh, man, it feels good to hit somebody and see their eyes roll back, That's one of those you're just like, okay, I did really well, but, nothing's quite like choking somebody and seeing them give up and not want to fight anymore.
With your current run, it seems like you're in contention for a middleweight title shot, but there's a guy who just debuted named Gegard Mousasi who maybe a little bit controversially jumped to the front of the line in a fight that some people don't even think he won. So how do you feel about that, knowing you're in contendership and yet somebody vaulted ahead of you?
It's frustrating, and when he first came to the organization, I kind of said, I understand he's accomplished a lot in his career, so, it's not going to piss me off if they jump him over me. But after that last performance, like you said, if you look at who just won the fight, he clearly didn't win. Now, he won round by round, and I think the judges did the right job, and they picked him as the winner. But he got beat up in that fight, so I think it's kind of hard to jump him to the front of the line and give him the title shot now.
Yeah, there is definitely that feeling out there among sports writers and fans alike. So what do you think has to happen for you to jump back over him, or maybe at the very least meet him in the middle and make him fight you to earn it?
I guess that's all internal politics that hopefully my manager can work out. Because all I can handle is go out there, win this fight as impressively as possible, and I guess I just got to see where everything falls there.
Are you starting to get used to the international fighting for Bellator? Because this is the second fight that you've had in this streak where you're going overseas.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be used to it. I'm excited about it. I think it'll be a good time. We get there early enough that I'll have time to settle in and be comfortable where I am.
So you won't have to worry about the time change or weight cut or anything like that?
No, I don't think that's going to be an issue. And realistically, they're about 7 hours ahead of us, so we fight at 8 o'clock. That puts me fighting on my time zone at 1 o'clock, which is enough time. I'm, hitting one of my hardest training sessions, so I think that's kind of good for me.
Yeah, actually, you're right. That does work out really well. And since we just had the clocks roll back anyway, you're already getting another hour as it is.
That's right.
Let's talk a little bit about Tel Aviv. What do you think of this city? What do you think of the fact, like you said, you're getting there early and you might get to see a little of it?
I'm really excited. I'll get there on Sunday. So I have a few days there, and then my wife's coming out, and we're going to do a little traveling around Israel and see Jerusalem and the Dead Sea. So I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a great, great trip. I got to take care of business first, but after that, we're going to have a good time.
Taking care of business with Jason Radcliffe, this assassin nickname that he's got. Now, if I can think of anybody that's an assassin, it's you in the Bellator middleweight division, but with this name, do you think you should take the name from him with a win?
Yeah, whenever people name themselves something like the Assassin, I always feel like it's a little bit of them trying to, get in their own head and make them feel a little tougher. So, he's a tough guy, but I always think that's kind of a funny nickname.
There are probably too many assassins right now in the sport. The only one that I really like that I give to anybody is the Pitbull brothers, because they both fight tenaciously enough to earn that name.
Yeah, they can have it for sure.
What other guys are you looking forward to facing in the middleweight division, other than, of course, the champion Cavallo, who we've already talked about, and Mousasi potentially down the line?
There's the middleweight division growing. There's yet to be some tough guys. One of my friends and old training partners, Chris Honeycutt's getting ready to fight Rafael Lovato, and I think Honeycutt will take that. But if he doesn't, I don't see a reason he won't win that fight. But if for some reason he didn't, Lovato would be an interesting fight just because they're both good jiu-jitsu guys.
That is an interesting fight coming up. I'm glad you mentioned it, because I like Honeycutt's overall game, and I think he's one of the toughest guys in the middleweight division. But Lovato has that very interesting record of being only the third guy from America as a black belt to win a World Jiu-Jitsu Championship. So it's a very interesting equation with the all-around skills of Honeycutt and the singular skills of Lovato.
Exactly. He's just, like you said, in that one spot, he's very, very dangerous, but everywhere else, if you can stay away from that, you're okay. So, it'll be, interesting. Like I said, I think Honeycutt will handle business there, but if for some reason he didn't, then it'd be an interesting fight.
Has anybody yet figured out with you that they should stay away from you on the ground? Because it just seems like people should know from watching your fights, don't get taken down, don't go to the ground, because it's going to be bad news if in any way, shape, or form John Salter takes my back.
Well, I'm hoping they don't figure it out or they don't get good enough to stop it, one or the other, because it's going well for me right now.
It is. It's resulted in some of the most visually spectacular finishes, and I was just saying that to my co-host the other day on Glove Up or Shut Up. I'm like, you know what? You want to put together a highlight reel of submissions in Bellator? You got to put John Salter on that list.
When I was fighting Halsey, he was working so hard on that takedown against the cage, I was thinking, I don't really think you want to finish this. I don't think it's going to go well for you, but he kept working on it, so we got to find out.
Yeah, that's the one that immediately pops to mind. I think of that visual of him turning purple, and I'm like, yeah, that was a really bad decision on his part.
Yeah, I think he's a very confident guy. I think he's always been successful because of that, and I think he lost a little of that confidence, and he doesn't have that air that he had before.
Would you entertain a rematch with him at some point if he ever decided to come back from M1 Challenge and fight in Bellator again?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I think I would want it to be something where it meant something and that I was going to earn something. At the time, I think people were counting me out thinking he was the favorite, so it helped my career a lot, So it would have to be a situation where it helped me again.
And probably he would need to come in with a little better record because he's lost 3 of his last 4, so he might have to put together a few to even get to your level at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. You can string a couple wins together, then, it'll be something a little different.
Has any part of the fact that you're on this long streak entered your mind at all, or is it just something where you just go out there and win fights and don't even worry about how many in a row it's been?
You definitely think about it and enjoy the fact that it's been a long time since I've lost, but at the same time, every fight's, its own fight, and you got to do everything just for that fight. The Kendall Grove fight doesn't help me anymore. That was one night, and I gotta be able to do a different thing against a different opponent now.
That's true. It doesn't help you now with this fight coming up with the Assassin, but at the same time, what kind of confidence does it give you to know that you fought a guy who's renowned for his jiu-jitsu and you submitted him too? Yeah,
it was interesting because I definitely expected, when we hit the ground, it'd be hard to hold him down, hard to control any position on him. And when I took his back, I was just kind of trying to make him miserable with that choke to finish the round in bad position. And he then all of a sudden he was out. It surprised me as much as it surprised him, I think.
Yeah, it was, once again, a very impressive finish, and it seems to be all that you're getting. So do you feel like there were any fights before Bellator that we haven't seen that were as impressive as either of those wins that we saw by rear naked choke?
I had a pretty good win over Caleb Starnes in Armageddon Fighting Championship in Canada, and got a good knockout win over Roberto Craven, who used to be in the UFC back my second pro fight. But I think the run I've been on lately is definitely I think I'm finding my stride and finding where I need to be as a fighter.
I would agree with that. So, hey, John, I want to wish you continued success coming up here with Jason the Assassin Radcliffe. I think this is a fun fight for Bellator 188 in Tel Aviv, and I hope everybody tunes in to watch on Spike TV. But before I let you go, I always want to give you some time to plug teammates, plug sponsors, throw out social media links, anything you would like to mention.
Well, I appreciate that. Everybody here in North Carolina that trains with me, Derek Brunson, Corey Crumpler, Tucker Guy, all these guys. I got a big group of guys that help me out. I really appreciate them all the time. God's really blessed me and my family and where we are right now. And giving me a wife that'll support me the way she does, so that's great. And make sure to check me out on Instagram at John Salter MMA. And my sponsors are TNT Fireworks, best fireworks in the world, obviously. Natural Healthy Solutions, where you can get all your supplements you need, and they're healthy and clean, and Oak Grove Technologies. And Green Lean Clean Food for your meal prep. So they're great here in North Carolina.
All right, one last thing, John. Since you mentioned Derek Brunson, I want to give congratulations to him as well. That was a spectacular knockout at Lyoto Machida. How satisfying was that, knowing that you worked with him and seeing him come up big like that in Brazil?
I'm a little mad at him. I stayed up to 1 o'clock to watch, and he knocked him out in 2 minutes. I mean, he could at least given me a show for staying up so late.
Right. I don't think the Brazilian fans were too happy with that either. But, yeah, it was still a very credible, impressive win for him.
Yeah, Derek's he's on a different level, and he's going to keep shocking everybody as he keeps going.
Well, I think you're going to do the same thing, John. So continued success to you and everybody on the team, and have a great fight at Bellator 188.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. And thank you, Dan, as well.